Hey there folks, Aldershot here. Today we're going to do an impression on Punch Club. It's developed by Lazy Bear Games and it's on sale on Steam at the regular price around $10 USD. Punch Club is essentially a career tycoon game, similar to say a Dev Tycoon. However, unlike Dev Tycoon, this game actually has a story for the player to progress through, as well as an ending to the game as well. So that's kind of where they diverge, right? And also, Punch Club is a fighting tycoon game, whereas Dev is a Dev Tycoon game, right? But anyways, let's just jump into the game so we can take a look at it. We'll play our current game, Al, which is at 134 days, which is quite a few days, I think. I got about 7 hours and a little bit more into Punch Club. I got a little addicted, admittedly, but there was some frustration along the way as well, but we'll talk more about that down the road. Anyways, we're currently in our apartment building. This is where we'll be refreshing ourselves, you know, feeding ourselves, sleeping, all that kind of jazz. But this being a tycoon game, there's going to be a fair amount of stats and meters to get acquainted with, so I want to quickly explain that stuff first, because you know that's going to be really important to this game. Again, being a tycoon game, right? Over here you have your combat stats. You have your strength, your agility, and your stamina. For anyone who's played RPG games, I think these are pretty self-explanatory, but I'll quickly go over them anyways. You have your strength, which indicates how strong you'll hit, of course. Then you have your agility, which indicates how often you'll dodge, as well as how accurate you'll throw your punches. Then you have your stamina, which indicates how much damage you can take, as well as how fast your energy meter will recharge. And everything takes energy, right? All your combat stuff takes energy, so it's important to keep that up as well. Then over here you have your health, your food, your mood, as well as your energy meter. And these are essentially your quality of life meters, if you will. I think health is pretty self-explanatory, is how much HP you have. If you go into a fight with whatever HP percentage you have currently, that's how much HP you'll have for the fight. So it's a good idea to keep that up as high as possible. Then you have your food meter. If you let it go down too low, you won't be able to do anything. So it's a good idea to keep yourself fed. Then you have your mood meter, which indicates how happy you are. This is a pretty easy meter to keep up. Almost everything increases mood, from sleep to eating to even working out. The only thing that brings it down is when you're working to make money too often. Then that can start going down. But like I said, almost everything brings it up, is a pretty easy meter to maintain. However, you do let it go down, it does bring down your workout efficiency. Then you have your energy meter, which indicates how tired you are. And similar to food, if you let that go down too much, you won't be able to do anything. So it's a good idea to keep yourself well rested when possible. So that's essentially the core stats of the game. Of course, over here you have your money and your skill points, which is basically your XP. So yeah, that's basically the stats of the game. Now, something interesting about the combat stats is that they'll actually start degrading. They'll actually go down if you don't maintain it through working out. So let's do that. Let's head to the gym and start working out. So over here is the gym. We click on that, it'll tell you how long it'll take you to travel. And over here you have your day, your clock, if you will, right? If you go by foot, it'll take 1 turn. If we pay $3, we can get there by bus without taking any turns at all. I'm kind of a cheapskate, and because of that, I'm gonna go by foot. There we go, just like that. So over here is the gym. You can talk to our buddy Silver, and you can spar with him, you can train with him, yada yada yada. Generally speaking, I just kind of go into the store for the gym. This is the scoreboard. I think I need to be higher in the league in order to actually appear here. But anyways, let's just go into the gym. Now, it does cost you money every time you go in. It costs you $10, and we got $158, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. We do work out a lot though, so the gym and food is definitely the two things that takes up most of your money, right? But anyways, over here in the gym, you have a variety of different things to work out with, you know? You got your punching thing, and your other punching thing, your hammer thing, and I don't know, guys. I'm not really much for exercising. I don't know what any of these things are called. I think this is called a deadlift, maybe. I'm probably wrong, or maybe this is a deadlift. I don't know. These are all things to me. Either way, there's a bunch of things that you can use to work out too. So, yeah, even a jump rope, which is great. Now, as you would imagine, each piece of equipment, they will strengthen different parts of your strength, right? The treadmill, let's just jump on the treadmill here. That will raise our stamina. And as you can see, the more we work out, the more food and energy it'll take. And it's also taking up turns as well, the longer we work out. So it's a good idea to kind of micromanage what piece of equipment you want to use, what stat you want to increase, and all that kind of stuff. So there's some micromanagement involved, as you would imagine with these Tycoon games. And as you can see, these dots are starting to degrade. If I use one piece of equipment too much, that will degrade our efficiency, incentivizing the player to use something else. So let's just say I want to keep working out on stamina. Well, I can use either the hammer, which will increase pretty much all our stats at once, but you know, at a slower rate than if we were to use something more precise in stat increases. Or we can use jump rope, which will increase directly to our stamina and our agility. Or we use this thing here, I think it's a deadlift or something, which will increase our strength and our stamina. So let's use the jump rope, that way we can get our agility up a little bit. There we go, just like that. Alright, I think that's good. Alright, so that's basically how the workout routine works. It's a good idea to get a routine. Right now I am kind of trying to bring up my stamina. I want to bring it up to 7 right now. My strength is sitting pretty good at 13. And I have a perk in my skill tree that allows me to keep my strength level at 13 without it degrading further. Which is, where is it? Where is it? Muscle memory. Is muscle memory. It's not 2. It's like muscle memory 3. Here it is. So you won't lose strength below 13, which is pretty good. It basically allows me to work on other stats without worrying about my strength getting below 13, which is very, very good for me because I am currently in a strength build right now, right? So I should probably talk about the skill tree a little bit as well. It's actually pretty complex little skill tree, and it's definitely worth studying before you start investing points into, because I definitely made a mistake, right? I was actually going for the turtle build, but accidentally ran into the beer build, which is a strength build. I was technically going for a stamina build, but accidentally ran into a strength build, so I'm a strength build now. But that happened because I didn't pay attention to the skill tree. You do have to get prerequisite skills in order to get other skills, and if you make a mistake, the game punishes you pretty harshly, right? Every time you skill up, the requirement for skill points in order to get a new skill goes up for every single skill, even past builds, right? Or even past skills. Like kick originally only cost like 2 skills. Now it's 26 skill points in order to get. I'm not going to get that because that's an agility attack anyways, right? But still, if you go down the wrong route like I did, you're kind of forced into having to continuing down that route, because backtracking costs you way too much and it's not really worth your time. So currently, because of our mistake, we are a strength build. And as you unlock new trees, mostly right here, this is probably the most important segment of the skill tree. This will dictate what kind of build you have, right? Either an agility, a stamina, or a strength build. So we're currently a strength build in the way of the beer. And when you unlock the sub-trees, you'll get a whole bunch of different perks and increases and upgrades. You can get new attacks. There's a whole bunch of different stuff to collect here, right? Like I said, the skill tree system is actually fairly complicated and pretty customizable. It's definitely worth your time to kind of take a look at before you start investing your points into. And yeah, that's basically how the skill tree kind of works. So let's continue with our workout routine while we still have a little bit of food energy left in us. Hey, let's continue bringing up our stamina energy. No, let's go over here. Okay, we're hungry now. So we're hungry. We can't work out anymore. So it's time to go back to the world map. Let's go to the grocery store by foot, because I'm a cheapskate and I don't want to spend any money. And we'll talk to Apu here, and he'll sell us foods and all that kind of good stuff. Our game froze for a second. I don't know why. I generally like to buy meats. It's probably the most efficient buy at 20 bucks, and currently our fridge has 3. I like to keep about 5 or 6 in the fridge whenever possible, so we'll do that. Not much to explain here, you know. Sometimes you'll find a random event like a robbery that you can help the store clerk with, but other than that, it's mostly just here to buy food. And let's go back to... No, that's the fight lodge. We'll go over that in a second. Actually, let's take a look at this. We got a fight coming up tomorrow and a fight coming up in 2 days. Yeah, this is essentially where you'll take a look at when and where all your fights will happen, right? This is where it's essentially your scheduler. Anyways, yeah, let's go back to the map here. And we're pretty tired. Our day's about to end. Let's go back home and we'll huff it, or we'll hoof it, I mean. And we'll grab a bite to eat in the fridge. We got a spoiled burger. We're not going to eat that. That's like a last resort if we absolutely need to, right? But I'm pretty sure that'll get us sick, so let's avoid that and just eat some meat here. Nom nom. And let's go to bed. You know, as you can see, this is a pretty simple game as far as controls is concerned. You just click on things, right? It's completely mouse driven. Let's see, upcoming fights. We got a fight in the Rookie League today. Alright. So yeah, it's completely mouse driven, similar to Game Dev Tycoon. You click on this and you click on that, you click on other things. That's essentially the gameplay. But obviously a lot of micromanaging through these clicks, right? But anyways, let's just continue sleeping. I want to bring our energy level up a little bit higher. Very good. Now let's grab a little bite to eat to start our day. Excellent. Now we got a fight today. The Rookie League. We can hit fight and fight right now. We can also kind of take a look at where we're standing currently in the league. We're 3rd right now, which is pretty good. Not too bad. Let's head to town and start building up some of our muscles, shall we? Actually, you know what? Let's go to our garage, because I haven't shown you guys that yet. So this is our garage. This is also where we can work out. We can buy equipment through the sports goods store, which I haven't shown you guys yet. And they cost a lot of money, to be honest. About 200 or more per piece of equipment. And it's not easy making money and keeping money, because you know, food and the gym eats up a lot of your money, right? So it's really hard to maintain a healthy bank account. Generally speaking, I am living paycheck to paycheck, if you will. But I did manage to get 2 pieces of equipment. And something else about the money is, if you carry too much money, your chances of getting robbed on the street is greatly increased. And that was really, really difficult to collect money in the beginning because of that reason, right? But anyways, we're here now. Let's work out our stamina a little bit more, because I do want to bring it up to around 7. We got our own little treadmill here. Unfortunately, our efficiency is degrading. And by the way, we are injured right now too, which isn't great from a previous fight. And different injuries will have different debuffs. This one is a brain concussion. We feel exactly the same, so it's really strange that all workout is less productive, which is not great, but we'll just have to deal with it. But let's see, we're losing efficiency with this. I don't really want to work out our strength because we're locked at 13 thanks to one of our perks through our skill tree. So what we're going to do is go back to the gym. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, see how we're already home. Let's grab another bite to eat, because our energy meter is actually pretty high, and I want to bring our food meter to a similar level. Anyways, let's just jump into the gym again. And by foot again. And jump into here. And it's going to cost us 10 bucks once again. As you can see, food and gym, as I mentioned before, definitely takes up the majority of your cash. Alright, anyways, let's continue running for the sake of stamina. Our efficiency is still not at 100%, but we'll take what we can get anyways. We're going to run out most of the day through workouts, and right before the day ends, that's when we'll do our fight, because that's when we'll be at our most optimal state as far as stats are concerned, right? And we definitely want to be at our most optimal state if possible. Because sometimes the fights can get pretty tough, and to be honest, I'm kind of in a rut right now. I'm losing a lot. But let's see how it goes, shall we? Let's just jump into the Rookie League. Alright, our first fight. Now over here, this is where we'll be able to mix and match the different skills and perks and all that kind of stuff. Different fighting styles. We're going to continue using our slugger fighting style, which is the way of the beer. You have your attacks, your kicks, your defense, your buffs, and your extra buffs, I guess. I don't know. I don't have any skills in this one here. Yeah, this is essentially, think like Magic the Gathering. This is your deck, right? And these are your extra cards. You can kind of swap them out as you see fit. And I don't really want that. I want my other thing back. There we go, just like that. And yeah, you'll get these skills through your skill trees that I showed you already. And like I said before, this basically plays out kind of like a deck, right? You just choose your attacks and your skills, and you fit them in as you need to. Anyways, let's take a look at our friend here, Mr. Kekusk. I think that's how you say it. He has 5 strength, 6 agility, and 8 stamina. He's going to be a fast one. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight. Let's see how this goes. Now, fighting is pretty simple. You don't do anything. Once you build your deck, essentially, the game plays out on its own. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is that after a while, this gets a little bit repetitive, and you do this a lot, and there's no way to skip it. Alright, we won! Wicked! But, yeah, there's no way to skip it, and because the game just plays out based on stats and dice roll, I would actually really like it if the game just gave us an option to skip right to the end. Just give us the final results after a while, because, like I said, I played this about 7 hours, and after the 2 or 3 hour mark, I'm just like, okay, enough of the fighting sequence, I just want to get to the end and continue building my character. That's going to be my first critique of this game, is that it should allow you to skip the fight scenarios if you want to. I understand the developer wanting to put a degree of suspension and, you know, excitement into their game, but after a little while, it's just unnecessary, you know? We get it. I get it, you know? And again, because the game is completely automated as far as the combat's concerned, it's really unnecessary for the player to sit through it the entire time, all the time, even if the player don't want to. So having the option to skip, I think, would definitely benefit the game, right? But anyways, we're at 29 skill points. We can probably skill up now, which is great. Nothing I want out of the basic skill tree. Let's go back to the way of the beer and see what we can pick up here. You cannot use any defensive skills, blocks, dodge, and you deal 20% more damage. Let's just use this, because I'm not using any defensive skills anyways. So yeah, that works out quite well for our build. Alright, excellent. That should definitely improve our ability to fight. Let's see, we got... Oh yeah, by the way, every time you finish a fight at the Rookie League, you gotta sign up again, so don't forget to do that. I believe how far up you get in the leagues will dictate how far you'll get into the story. And as you play through the game, as you keep doing this routine that you're seeing me do, the game will slowly unfold a story, right? And just to quickly summarize the story, it's basically about how your father was murdered, and you're on a mission to avenge your father and find a murderer and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cliche, however, there's some pretty interesting little tidbits as you play through the game as well. You know, there's a lot of pop culture and 80s references. Like over here in the store, you have a parody of Bob and Silent J, or sorry, Jay and Silent Bob headbanging outside the store, which is pretty cool. I like that. And there's a lot of these little Easter egg references sprinkled throughout the game, so it's definitely a good idea to keep an eye out for those. Anyways, we got the food that we want, so let's see, what else do we want to do right now? Our next fight isn't until tomorrow. We're still doing pretty good on our food, so you know what, let's our stats are doing pretty good too. I'll take you through the sporting goods store because I haven't shown you that yet. This is where we'll buy our equipments, which we don't have enough money for, so we won't at the moment. We can also buy quote-unquote potions from the quote-unquote magic store. Basically, he's a drug dealer that sells you steroids, right? I haven't used any of them yet, to be honest. Maybe I should for tougher fights. I don't know, but yeah. But anyways, over here's the abandoned warehouse. This is where we'll fight our more deadly fights. Over here is Chinatown, and let's just go over there real quick. This is where you'll meet our drunk master, where if you're injured like we are right now, he can actually cure your injury, but it's actually pretty expensive, so I don't really use it a whole lot. It's like 70 bucks. No way. Then you have Mick's office, who is essentially our trainer who picked us up from the streets. You know, kind of like Rocky style. And if you have no money and you're hungry, he'll feed you, but only for a certain amount of times, right? So don't take too much of an advantage of that. But I really like his office. Look at all this, like, references and Easter eggs here. You know, you got your Ninja Turtles, Indiana Jones, you got your Mortal Kombat, more Ninja Turtles, a lot of Ninja Turtles references, actually. So, yeah, I actually kind of like, you know, all the parodies and Easter eggs that this game got going for it. Then you have Cafe Street. We'll visit here real quick as well. This is Don. He's the big boss man, the gangsta. He basically arranges a lot of the fights, and once you're ready, you can talk to him. You'll go into your big end battle or whatever. We're not ready for that yet, but this is where you'll participate in that. But yeah, so the graphics are pretty nice as well, something I haven't talked about yet. The presentation, you know, I like the pixel art, I like the music. You know, the music's quite soothing, I think. It's has an almost rocky 8-bit or 16-bit theme to it, which I like. You know, it suits the theme and the genre of the game. But anyways, as I was saying, yeah, the presentation, I like it. I don't really have much complaints. I like the pixel art. It's nice. It's detailed. It does the job. But anyways, let's just keep training, I think. Let's go back to the gym. We do have a fight coming up, so let's prepare for that. And we'll be doing this over and over and over again. Eventually, you'll figure out a routine that works best for you. And yeah, I gotta admit, there is a lot of repetition, right? Although I have to say, it is really, really addictive. I played this game for 7 hours today without even realizing. Now, that 7 hours wasn't all, you know, candy and gumdrops, you know. As fun as this game is, there are parts of the game where it gets really, really frustrating, you know. There's going to be parts of the game where you're going to get into a rut, where you're going to be losing a lot, where you feel like you're not progressing. I almost started over at the 4-hour mark because of that. And that's can get really frustrating. And also, I think that has a lot to do with the way the skill tree works, you know. Like I said, if you don't study the skill tree and you put your points into the wrong areas, you'll start realizing, oh crap, I can't get the skill at all because it'll take way too long to backtrack. You know, the more skills you pick up, the more expensive it is to pick up more skills, including the previous skills. So it's very, very punishing. And the game's also really, really grindy as well, especially considering that these skill points up here, the combat skills, they degrade over time, so it's so important to keep up your training. So grindy is definitely, I think, an accurate description for this game's gameplay. Albeit, you know, like I said, it is very addictive, and the story is interesting enough, right? But yeah, let's keep working out here. And that's essentially how I feel about the game. It's fun. It is fun. It is addictive, and there's a lot to like about it, especially its presentation and its story and all that stuff. But it's very punishing, and if you don't really pay attention to what you're doing, it's very, very easy to make mistakes that you can't go back and just simply fix, right? And if you make that mistake, it can be so grindy. It can be so unforgiving too, right? And that's very, very frustrating. That's my main critique about this game, is that it's a little bit grindy. It's very repetitive. I do wish that you could just kind of skip through the combat sequences, which we'll do one right now, because like I said, you can't control the fight anyways, which I honestly don't have a problem with. But it would be nice if I can just skip this combat sequence. Let me know the results. Did I win? Did I not win? Because it's completely uncontrollable by the player, and it's completely AI driven. You know, it's luck of the dice, it's dice rolls, it's AI, and all that stuff. Albeit, you know, between rounds you do get an opportunity to switch up your skills if something's not working right for you. But let us have the ability to skip to the next round. Just show us the results if we choose to, right? And that would definitely help speed up the gameplay, and that would definitely help resolve some of the repetitive problems I've had with the game, right? But despite the problems that I'm ranting on about, like I said, I was addicted, and I definitely did have fun with the game. I can't say this is not a well put together game, because it really, really is. The presentation is absolutely fantastic, and I love the theming of the game as well. There's a lot to love about the game, but there's also going to be little parts that might annoy you as well. Mainly, again, the repetition, the punishing gameplay, and all that kind of stuff, right? But that's basically it, you know? Like I said, you'll be doing this routine over and over again. Fights, train, get food, eat. Every now and then, the game will throw in a side quest, like find flowers for a pretty girl or something like that. But other than that, it's a lot of repetitions. It's a lot about going through a routine, much like if you were to actually train for a fighting tournament, right? So that's basically it. That's Punch Club. Pretty interesting little game. I definitely enjoyed it. I had fun with it, but it's not without its flaws. Again, repetition and extremely punishing if you don't pay attention to the skill tree. Right, that's my main complaints about the game. But it is definitely very, very addictive, and has a nice presentation. But anyways, enough about this game. Hopefully you folks enjoyed. Hopefully you found this informative and useful. And if you did, you know, show me some love. Like, share, fave, and comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe, and I'll bring you lots more video games just like this. Thanks for watching, everyone. All the shoutouts.